Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I know you're thinking, what in the world? Yeah, but I thought I'd come on here and basically um, give you guys my review, my thoughts on WrestleMania that took place last night. It's now Monday morning, of course, but took place last night from New Orleans, WrestleMania 34 to be exact. And to say that WrestleMania this year lived up to, well, I wouldn't say lived up to the hype, but definitely was a a step forward in the right direction as far as WWE goes when it comes to booking shows like Mania for the main roster. I think honestly it was probably the best direction they can go with. It was definitely a more positive outlook. I could say this. I could say this without a shadow of a doubt. I'm a fan of Deluxe Man, of Deluxe Man's World. I'm a follower of his on Twitter and Facebook. Same with OTRS Central. So the same with No DQ and Chase Oliver and Jeff Meacham and all them. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that well, a lot of people would crap on Mania over the past several years. Like a lot would say it started out good and then it would just spiral downwards into a piece of crap. And they would be right in feeling that way. They would. Um, This WrestleMania felt like it was a step forward in the right direction. Not a full step, but a baby step forward in the right direction, or a rebooted step in the right direction. Because um, I don't know if maybe what NXT did the night before kind of lit a fire under them, under the people in charge of the main roster, and they basically told the talent to go out there and do what you can. Um, I can't really say, but throughout the show, including the kickoff show, um, you could definitely tell that there was an effort, if not a full-on 100% effort, to make this show worthy of being a WrestleMania show. Even from the kickoff show, you kind of got that feeling. Um, for example, with the kickoff show, you had three matches. You had both Battle Royals, you had the Cruiserweight Championship, and all three, in my opinion, from the grades I saw Deluxe Man give, delivered on all accounts. They did. They delivered on all accounts and basically showed that hey, this could be the right direction that WWE needs to go in as far as this show goes. As far as the show goes, this is a a decent a decent run, a decent step in the right direction to start off with. Basically, the right person in my mind when it came to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think the right person. I think a lot of people felt the same way about this decision, but the right person went over, and that was Matt Hardy. This also kind of confirmed what a lot of people were hoping was going to happen at Mania in some way, and that was the fact that um, Bray Wyatt was going to align himself now with Matt Hardy. I'm still very doubtful about that because even though it looks like these two are together on the same page, and Bray is now broken Bray or woken Wyatt, whatever you want to call him, I, I just don't see WWE going fully through with this. Especially, I mean, I understand it's part of Matt's universe, so he would have a majority of say in that. But I just don't see WWE fully letting Matt go through with this, or fully letting Bray go through with this. They may come up with some kind of idea in the end to where Bray basically reveals that he's been manipulating Matt the whole time, and that's how we get to the broken side of things. Because there is rumors going around that Matt is supposed to go broken soon, go from woken to broken. So there's a possibility, in my opinion, that I think this whole Bray being aligned with him now and everything is going to be nothing more than a ruse. And we're going to find out that the Sister Abigail entity is a lot more powerful than anything Matt Hardy and the Seven DTs have ever faced. So that's just a prediction. That's just my opinion and a prediction, in my opinion, where I think they may go with this in the future. I mean, I know some people may not want to see that, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I would not put it past WWE to do that. What else? Oh yeah, we had the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, one thing I will agree with the Lexman on is this either had to A, open up the main card, basically open up the pay-per-view, or B, close out the kickoff show, be the last match on the kickoff show before the actual event. It was none of those. This was stuck right in the middle of the kickoff show. Right in the middle of both battle royals. Now, did both men deliver a decent match? Probably not as good as they should. Because from what I understand, and from what I've seen with Cedric Alexander in his time in ROH and such, these guys could have put on a damn good match. They could have. To me, this is just an example of what really helped carry the overall show, and that was the storytelling. You had you had decent, if not good athleticism here. You had decent to good athleticism here, combined with good storytelling. I mean, there were some good moments in there. I mean, you had a Spanish fly in the middle of the ring. Like, I think Ali was coming off this way and Alexander was coming off this way, and Alexander caught him in a Spanish fly or something. Overall, it was a good match. And again, I think the storytelling, especially at the end, carried the match. And in the end, Cedric Alexander won the Cruiserweight Championship. And he embraced Mustafa Ali. There was no heel turn. So it was good. It was decent. I'm not going to say it was bad. And then we had the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. And basically, what's funny is I don't think the Lexman mentioned this, but I super chatted the Lexman and mentioned the moment here. But what happened was kind of funny as well. So you have a lot of women in there. You have all the women from all three brands, including the NXT women, who basically, for a short period at the beginning of that Battle Royal, dominated. They dominated as a group, as a unit. And they stood in that ring. Some of the ones you had, Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Dakota Kai, the iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. This girl from India that was trained by the great Khali. He and I think a few others stood up there, and there was this moment before they cut to commercial where they basically stood up and said, "We," in the middle of the ring, saying, "We are NXT." They didn't start an NXT chant, but they said, "We are NXT." So I'm thinking, is that going to lead to something, or was that just a moment they wanted to give them? I don't know. If it leads to something, that'd be great. I'd like to see some kind of intriguing storyline where the women of NXT say, "Hey, we're better than the women on the main roster." And oh, by the way, there are some women here on this roster that weren't even that know what we're talking about because they were part of our roster not that long ago, like Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. So I'm wondering if they might do something with that, or they just might leave it as is. Again, I'm wondering, it's just a moment they wanted to give them, or they're going to lead to something. Because I think if they did something like that, get an intriguing storyline to see who's the better women's division, That might be that might be something to see, because you'd be storytelling across all three brands. Be interesting. It'd be interesting to see, and I think people would like it. I really do. I really think people would enjoy that. Um, but yeah, we had the kickoff show, and throughout the kickoff show, and basically into the first match as well. Um, and towards the end of the second match, they would cut back and forth to John Cena. John Cena was in the crowd, and I will agree with the Alexa man. They really sold us on this. They sold us on the fact that he was going to just sit in the crowd, be a fan. He was drinking a beer, conversing with some people, even said who some of the people were. But you knew, honestly, that he was going to get his match. You knew he was going to get it. And I'm going to talk about that when I get to that point. But yeah, they would cut back and forth to him. So we open up the pay-per-view with America the Beautiful by Chloe and Halle, I think, who are proteges of Beyonce and are dubbed the future of R&B music or something like that. Did a great rendition, America the Beautiful, perfect rendition. Well, not perfect, but a decent one. I will give him that. Then the first match of the night is the Intercontinental Championship, and I don't know if I said this in my predictions and previews, but I felt that if any match should have kicked it off, it was this one, and that was the right choice. Or it should be this one, and that's what happened. It was the right choice, and it was good. It was a good opener. It got people excited, got them on their feet. The entrances were nice. While Rollins came out to something similar, something dedicated to Game of Thrones or inspired by Game of Thrones. Miz came out to almost like a Hollywood kind of thing. His name, you have all these names and highlighted or in neon lights where you have like hot wife, moneymaker, stuff like that. But what's funny is he ended up sending Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas to the back. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Miz never does that unless he has a plan. But here's what got me, and I mentioned this in my live reaction, and yes, in case you guys are wondering, I did do a live reaction that went almost 5 hours. Almost 5 hours, 3 minutes short. I told that to the Lex man, and he was like, dude, you are a legend just for doing that. Because I think, honestly, no one, well, I'm not going to say no one. There is one person here on YouTube that I think it was What Culture Wrestling did the whole 7 hours. That's what they did. So if anybody topped me, it was them. It was What Culture that topped me. But yeah, I told the Lex man that in the super chat, and he's like, really? He couldn't believe it. So, but yeah, one thing I mentioned in my live reaction was they kept talking about how Miz is a changed man now. His being a father has changed him. He's turning over a new leaf. And I'm thinking, is Corey Graves alluding to an eventual Miz babyface turn? Is he? Are we getting a Miz babyface turn? I wonder. I mean, that would be intriguing because here's what I think. Here's why I think that would be intriguing, because you have the Miz Taraj flanking Miz all the time. And I'm wondering if Miz is going to turn babyface again. I'm wondering if they're going to go with the same. I'm wondering if they're going to go with the same kind of storytelling, if not similar, to what they did with Kurt Angle and Team Angle over a decade and a half ago. In case you don't know, Kurt Angle was out with an injury after Mania 19 when he faced Brock in the main event there and lost. He was out for a while, but the ending where he embraced Brock and everything pretty much indicated a babyface turn. So basically what happened is Kurt was out for a few months. Team Angle was still representing him, And when he came back, they were still a unit, but you could tell that unit was going to come to an end, and inevitably it did when Team Angle got fired by Kurt Angle, and then they attacked him. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a similar situation, not identical, but similar in structure, in story structure, with Miz and the Miztourage. That's something to look out for, in my opinion. That's something to look out for. But yeah, this was but then, yeah, the Balor's entrance, he came out wearing his new LGBT-inspired Balor Club is for Everyone shirt, and he was flanked by the LGBT community of New Orleans, or at least a small portion of them. And I know Slag Daddy's going to have something to say about that in his review. But yeah, the opener was decent. It was good. I'm not gonna say it was bad or anything. I thought it was good. It was a decent opener. It did what it had to do. It got people on their feet. It got them excited for the rest of the card. And these guys pulled out all the stops that they could. They pulled out all the stops that they could here. Miz had Balor. There was a moment Miz had Balor in the figure 4, and Rollins leaps off the top rope onto Miz. There's a moment where Balor hits a shotgun dropkick on both Miz and Rollins on the outside into the barricade. There is a moment where I don't know what Balor was trying to do, but Rollins gets in there. And it was just some kind of sequence where Balor ends up buckle bombing Miz into the buckle. And I don't know what Miz or who was trying to do what, but they were trying to do something. In the end, though, a good, like I said, good match. Definitely check it out. But in the end, Rollins wins with a curb stomp, and Rollins is Intercontinental Champion. Thus, he becomes a Grand Slam champion. And by doing so, he and the Shield all together are now Grand Slam champions. Yeah, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, all are now considered Grand Slam champions in just the 5-year existence. Or was it 5? No. 5 years existence. They become Grand Slam champions in 5 years. I think that's the shortest anybody's become a Grand Slam champion that I know of. I think that's the shortest anybody's become a Grand Slam champion when you think about it. So it was a good match. And you're thinking, what could follow that? What could probably top that? How about Charlotte Flair and Asuka? I was surprised this was the second match on the card, but you know what? I was cool with it because you want to keep the crowd alive. You want to keep them energized and electrified. This did it. This match, I talked about the Cruiserweight match being storytelling and athleticism combined. This was the same way, if not more so. These two ladies brought it during this match. These two ladies went back and forth. It was anybody's ball game. Anybody's ball game. I mean, they had the moments, no doubt. They had the moments. There was one moment where Asuka was on the top rope. Charlotte was up there with her. And Charlotte does something I have never seen Charlotte do. She did a top rope Spanish fly on Asuka. I had never seen Charlotte Flair do that until now. Holy crap. Again, these women pulled out all the stops here. No doubt. And the storytelling was just phenomenal. Because it's like, will the streak end? Will it continue? Can the Queen beat the Empress? I mean, it was just I could not think of a better pairing to go up against each other in a match than this. You want a WrestleMania caliber match? You want a match that is worthy of WrestleMania? You want a match that would make Ring of Honor envious? Ring of Honor envious, no matter whether or not they're just starting the women's division or not? Do you think Do you want a match that's going to make them envious? You want a match that's going to make Shimmer and the 100th show envious? You want a match that's going to make anything at WrestleCon envious? This did it. You want a match that New Japan would be happy to have at Wrestle Kingdom if they ever decide to do a women's championship? This is the match they would want. That's how good this match was. It became a freaking instant classic. Became an instant classic. And in the end, because both women were kind of working on injuries. Charlotte had her arm injured by Asuka. Asuka had her leg injured by Charlotte. And it was going to be like, who's going to capitalize? In the end, Charlotte gets fired up. So does Asuka. And as both are getting fired up, Charlotte runs off the ropes, hits a spear on Asuka, and then immediately puts her right into the figure 8. And she's holding her arm. She's bent back like this. Charlotte is bent back like this, arm straight, but she's holding her arm because it's injured. And she ends up beating Asuka like that. These women brought it. And I am in agreement with the Lex Man. I am in agreement with you, Alex. This is the best damn women's match WrestleMania has ever had, period. All due respect to Lita. All due respect to Trish Stratus. All due respect to that triple threat we had 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. All due respect to that. All due respect to Wendy Richter, Rockin' Robin, all of them. All due respect to Gail Kim, Karma, Awesome Kong. This is the match. All due respect to all the accomplishments they've done. Jacqueline, Ivory, who recently went to the Hall of Fame. Beth Phoenix. All due respect to them. This redefined what a women's match at WrestleMania is about. And all due respect to Mickie James as well. This redefined what a women's match is all about. No doubt about it. And yeah, Charlotte won. I reacted to it. I said, Asuka lost. And she did. But you know what? I told the Lex Man this in the super chat. I said, this is not going to hurt Asuka. She's still on Raw. Because had she won, she would have gone to SmackDown. Her losing keeps her on Raw, as far as I know. It keeps her on Raw. If she ends up on SmackDown, if I see her on, here's what I'm thinking. If I see Asuka end up on SmackDown, then this rivalry is going to continue. But I don't see that. What I see happening on SmackDown is a Carmella cash-in, and Carmella's probably going to win because you know what? If they'd gone the Asuka route, they wouldn't have put Carmella over. They wouldn't allow Carmella to cash in successfully. Asuka losing did a couple of things. One, it solidified Charlotte's legacy. Actually, 3 things. It solidified Charlotte's legacy. It solidified Asuka's legacy, even in defeat, because this defeat is not going to hurt her. Because I doubt they're going to let her have more than just one loss. I doubt. If they're pushing and positioning her as this big time deal for the women's division, Asuka is not going to lose many matches after this. She might lose a few more, but that's it. But it, like I said, did 3 things. Solidified Asuka's legacy, Charlotte's legacy, and it set up Carmella to become SmackDown Women's Champion on Tuesday. Guaranteed. Why? Because like I said, if they would have gone the Asuka route, Carmella would have cashed in, she would have gone bankrupt. You go the Charlotte route, more believable because now you have an injured Charlotte with the injured arm, target, perfect for Carmella. Off to the races you go. But overall, instant WrestleMania classic, dare I say, is going to be nominated as one of the match of the year candidates in all of pro wrestling. All of pro wrestling. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Pro Wrestling Illustrated awarded it match of the year. I wouldn't be surprised. I know we got a whole 8 months to go, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because how are you going to top this? How? That's my answer. That's my question. But yeah, Asuka wins. They have an embrace. No heel turn. I thought, honestly, they might do something there. They didn't. This was basically to see who was the very best. And on this night, Charlotte was the best. And I love what Asuka did. I love how Asuka gets on the mic and basically admits Charlotte was ready for Asuka. And she even did a backstage interview on WWE.com saying she was happy Asuka beat her. Not Asuka, but that Charlotte beat her because it's going to make her stronger. But again, I love that moment. She gets on the mic and says Charlotte was ready for Asuka. And in that backstage interview, she says this defeat is only making her stronger. It's going to make her stronger. So I love that. I love that. So very good. Then we get the United States Championship Fatal 4-Way. Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Rusev. This was okay. This was an okay match. I know some people I know some people probably didn't feel much for this match except for maybe Rusev and Bobby Roode. But come on, this is Randy Orton we're talking about. If it's something like maybe SummerSlam perhaps, or even Survivor Series, he might consider doing a pre-show match. Maybe even one of the B-level pay-per-views like Backlash, he might consider it. But not WrestleMania. Randy has been taught by the very best, if you know what I'm talking about. And there's no way he's going to let himself be regulated to a pre-show kickoff show to title defense. So yeah, this was the third match on the card. It was okay. I love the fact that when Bobby Roode's coming down to his entrance, all of a sudden his music stops, and you hear Aiden English introducing Rusev. So that was good. One thing I did mention in the live reactions, I love when Jinder Mahal's coming down the ring. I love how the announcers cut to introducing everybody to the international team of announcers from all the different countries they're representing. I love how they do that right during Jinder Mahal's entrance. And then as soon as they get to the last international announced team, that's when they get right back to the entrances and right back in time for Randy Orton's. That was amazing. That was kind of not amazing, but I thought that was kind of funny there. But again, overall the match was good. It was good. It was all right. It wasn't no triple threat, and it wasn't no Charlotte and Asuka, because honestly, who could follow those? But they did okay. They did okay for what they were given. There was a sequence in there where Randy ended up hitting 3 RKOs in a row. 1 to Aiden English, 1 to Rusev, and then 1 to Jinder. And Rusev, he was definitely over here. He was definitely over. People loved him. To me, the two guys that were over were Roode and Rusev. I mean, heck, when Randy was getting ready to RKO Rusev before he actually did it, he was actually getting booed a little bit. He got some cheers, don't get me wrong, but he was getting booed. But in the end, Jinder Mahal wins. Yeah. There's a moment where basically Randy gets tossed outside, Bobby Roode's tossed outside. Singh, I think I'm just going to call him Singh. Jinder's minion comes in to interfere. It's enough to distract Rusev to the point that Jinder hits the Colossus clutch, the Colossus, if you will, the Colosser on Rusev to win the match and become United States champion. And I talked about this in my live reaction. I think the only reason Rusev was put in this match was, one, to prevent him from walking out and leaving the company because he wanted his release. Two, because his merchandise has been selling like hotcakes and it's getting over. But three, to take the pinfall. That's why Rusev was there. One, because they didn't want him to leave. His merchandise is selling like hotcakes, but he was going to take the pinfall, and that's exactly what happened. And I know some people don't like that. And that's my dog. She's okay. She just woke up right there. She's got some allergies. She's okay. She's all right. She's got some allergies. She got a bit of allergies. She just woke up. Yeah, it's my dog. She's okay. She just woke up there. Bit of allergies. She's all right. You know how dogs are. They'll wake up and they'll cough a little bit, have a bit of allergies. She's okay. She's all right. Anyway, yeah, Jinder ends up winning. And I know not a lot of people are going to like the fact that Rusev took the pinfall, but here's where I look at it. Rusev's going to get another crack at that title. If they want to keep Rusev from leaving and taking his act with him, his Rusev Day thing with him, they're going to give him a run with that championship. But what this also does as well, whether we like to admit it or not, it protects Randy Orton and Bobby Roode for whatever they got planned for them in the future. It protects Bobby Roode. It protects Randy Orton. Neither of them took the pinfall. Rusev took the pinfall. So, in the long run, Orton and Roode are going to get another shot, but they'll probably move on to bigger things. Mostly, I think the WWE Championship, maybe the Universal Championship, depending on if they go to Raw after next month, depending on what the rumors are saying. And Rusev's probably going to get a shot at probably a run with that championship as well. One thing that the Lexman brought up in his review is that he feels what Jinder's going to do is exactly what WWE should have allowed Rusev to do. Now he's going to try to rechristen the U.S. Championship as the India Championship. We'll have to wait and see. On if he does that or not, because it'll be interesting if they allow him to do that, at least for storyline purposes, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Next match on the card. The next match on the card was the one we didn't think we'd get, but we got it. John Cena versus The Undertaker. I think that's how it went. But yeah, basically, here's how this came about. We knew it was going to happen. Here's what happened. Like I said earlier, the camera was going back and forth with Cena, being in the crowd, being a fan. They played it up to the heel with this. Then there was a moment at the end of the Charlotte Asuka match where a referee comes down to the ring, goes over the barricade into the crowd, whispers in John's ears, basically saying, he's here, he's ready or something. And John jumps the barricade and bolts to the back. And they have the shot of Asuka laughing like, what the heck just happened? Because I don't think she'd seen John do something like that before. But anyway, John Cena bolts to the back. So he comes out, his music hits. He comes out, says things are about to get interesting. And he's waiting in the ring. The ring announcer, JoJo, announces his announces him as if he's in a match. But what happens is the lights go out. And when the lights come on, it's not Taker, it's Elias. Now, before that, another referee comes out basically says something that sounds like he's telling John he's not here, he's gone or something. I don't know. John seems disappointed. The lights go out, and instead of being Undertaker, it's Elias. So Elias basically, it looks like what they're gonna do is do Elias versus John Cena. But John basically is not having that. It looks like John's not having that, and what happens is Elias starts to do a concert. Of course, typical Elias. He starts singing. He says something to John, says something about John Cena in the song that causes John to go back over the barricade into the ring and basically fight Elias and hit him with an AA, or hit him with a 5-knuckle shuffle and an AA to put him out of the equation. And then, just when it looks like, okay, that's probably it for John Cena for the night, he walks up, his music's playing, and he poses at the corners. He just feels like, he's just like, all this for nothing, huh? So he starts walking up, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, his music stops, lights go out again, you hear the gong, and you're thinking, and you see my reaction in that live reaction. There's the gong. There's a spotlight that comes into the ring or shines on the ring. You see Undertaker's hat and a coat from last year, the way he left it, the way he put it, the way he left it in the ring. You see it right there. And then all of a sudden, you see lightning bolts coming down. Right where the hat and jacket is, or the hat and coat is. The lights go out again, and then all of a sudden you hear this bong, and then the music starts up. You go peer towards the entranceway, and rising up from the depths of hell, the Undertaker. And when I saw this, I was thinking, holy crap. And you know what? When he took off the coat, he took off the hat. Yeah, he let his hair grow back in. And guess what? This looked like an Undertaker, like the Lex Man said, from 10 years ago. Maybe more. I'm not joking. Looked like an Undertaker from 10 years ago. I'm not lying about that. But Undertaker looked in phenomenal shape. And basically, John got a little bit of offense in because the match did happen. He got a bit of offense in, but in the end, remember Superfly Jimmy Snuka? That's pretty much what this match was like. Snuka got some offense in, but in the end, it was mostly old Taker, and that's exactly what this was. You got the flying clothesline, you got old school, you got the choke slam, you got the tombstone. That was it. Game over. John got his match, but he got it in a way he wasn't expecting. He got his match, but not the way he was expecting. Because Taker went in there and annihilated him. And he looked in phenomenal, and I am being honest to God with you, phenomenal shape for someone in his someone in his early 50s. And you know what? I do agree with Deluxe Man. If we can just get this kind of Undertaker every year, at least, for a WrestleMania match, I'm totally cool with it. But if what we got here is any example of what Taker is still capable of, I think we're going to get him every few. I'm thinking this. If they want to bring Taker back for a few more matches, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, that's it. Bring him back 4 times a year, maybe an occasional Raw or SmackDown, but bring him back. This isn't. but bring him back for those kind of moments, for those kind of events, because I think it works better in his favor. I think it works better for him to do those kind of things. So yeah, we ended up getting that. Then we ended up getting the SmackDown Tag Team Title Triple Threat. And okay. You think Taker and John was a squash? Have you ever seen two teams get squashed at once in a match by another team? I can't recall in quite a while, but that's exactly what happened here. The Bludgeon Brothers, Hopper and Rowan, squashed the Usos, squashed the New Day, and walked out the tag team champions. I mean, New Day and Usos, they got some offense in, but it was mostly all Bludgeon Brothers. And it seems that the Bludgeon Brothers had a counter for everything. And they had a counter, were ready and had a counter for almost everything that both teams were going to throw at them. And in the end, the Bludgeon Brothers become the tag team champions. They literally squashed New Day and Usos. Again, Usos and New Day gave it their all. They put in some decent offense, but this was mostly a showcase for the Bludgeon Brothers. And the Bludgeon Brothers are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And here's why this happened. This happened because there's a team that's going to get called up, probably on the SmackDown after Mania, that's the perfect opponents for the Bludgeon Brothers. Can you say AOP? Authors of Pain? Akeem and Razar? I knew you could. There's your opponents for the Bludgeon Brothers. Right there. Because you could put them on Raw, that'd be great. But if you want decent opponents for the Bludgeon Brothers, there's your answer. There is your answer, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Then, trying to make sure I get this right here. Ooh, excuse me again. Okay, I'm a little off on the match order, maybe, but one of the other matches that took place, of course, was the mixed tag team match. And this match was storytelling at its best. I mean, you knew Stephanie McMahon and was going to try her best to avoid Ronda, but I'll give Stephanie credit. When she had to get her hands dirty in the match and get physical, she did that, and she brought it. She actually brought a fight. Not like wow, she brought that fight. She really took Ronda to the limit. No, she basically brought enough of a fight to Ronda to where she was only able to bring that fight to Ronda when Ronda was down. But when Ronda got square up in her face or stood face to face with her or grabbed her by the arm or by the neck, you pretty much knew Stephanie was done. And you know how I knew Stephanie was done towards the end of this? When she started doing this, and I'm thinking, yep, she's done. And Ronda, she just grabs Stephanie like this, and you can just see the fear in Steph's eyes. She's like, I don't want this, I don't want this. And you can even tell that even before they finally both got in there, she was doing everything she could to make sure Kurt Angle would not tag Ronda in, because she did not want to get in the ring with Ronda. It's like basically, because here's the thing, storyline-wise, Ronda, storyline wise, I should say, Stephanie talks a big game, but she can't really back it up, especially against certain people. And that's what happened here. She couldn't back it up. I mean, she, like I say, she fought when she basically brought it to Ronda when Ronda was down. But when Ronda got straight up and in her face and just bounced back like nothing happened, it's like you knew Stephanie was done. And in the moment that sold it for me. And oh, by the way, Kurt did put Stephanie in the ankle lock for a little bit, just like Ronda had put Triple H in the armbar a little bit. I mean, there was a moment where she's squaring up against Triple H. Triple H is like, pushes the referee aside, says, I'll take care of this, no problem. I'll let this happen. And what happens? Ronda comes right at him and beats the living crap out of him with Fist of Fire. Gets him into the armbar. All right, and then like I said, later on, Kurt gets Stephanie in the ankle lock temporarily. But then the ending sequence. Holy crap. I mean, I'll say this about this match. The storytelling here, magnificent. Ronda Rousey's debut as an in-ring competitor for WWE. Ronda, you're secure. Your future is secure with this company. I don't think we have nothing to worry about with Ronda when it comes to her future with this company. But holy crap. The storytelling here, though, it got me because, like I said in my reaction video, one thing I was worried about is that they might go in the one direction I'm afraid they would, and that's put Stephanie and Triple H over. Thankfully, they didn't do that, and they gave us exactly what we wanted, the moment we've been waiting for, and that was Stephanie McMahon getting her comeuppance by Ronda Rousey, because I love the ending. And Deluxe Man said it best. You remember those old Disney films, animated films, where you have the bad villainess or Wicked Witch or whatever yelling and screaming in defeat after they've been screaming as they find out that they have been usurped, they have been defeated. They're chanting, no, they're yelling, no, no. Stephanie is doing that, and she's saying, no, no. And I think Ronda was saying, you sorry now? And you could hear Stephanie go like, I'm sorry. And it's like, Ronda's like, well, too late. Boom! Wrenches her arm back, and Stephanie just ends up tapping. And yeah, Ronda Rousey ends up winning her debut in WWE. And yeah, Dana White was in attendance to support her. I think he was also in attendance to support Brock, but what are you going to do? But yeah, Ronda Rousey ends up winning the match and winning her debut. Very, very good match as far as storytelling goes. Loved every second of it. Again, it had me on the edge of my seat because I'm thinking, knowing this company, they're going to put Triple H and Stephanie over. Because you would think they would have... Because the reason I worried about this was 3 years prior at the same WrestleMania, which was kind of like the catalyst, the foundation to build to this WrestleMania match. At that Mania, Triple H defeated Sting when the right thing should have been Sting going over Triple H. That's what I was worried about. I was worried they would pull a WrestleMania 31 on us. Thankfully, they didn't. Thankfully, they didn't. Okay, next match. Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Daniel got a special entrance. I was surprised they gave Daniel this. It was more like a kind of like what is it? It was basically. I mean, think of it this way: Vanguard 1 kind of style, where they're talking Operation Yes Movement, and you see all these highlights from everywhere when the Yes Movement hit. Even talking about San Francisco Giants. Oh man, if my mom would have been here for that, I'd been like, Mom, look, because she's a huge Giants fan. Anyway, yeah, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan ended up facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin and Sami, as soon as their music hit, came out not from the entrance but from the crowd, attacked Daniel and Shane before the bell rang, powerbomb Daniel into the ring apron. So for a while, it's Daniel and Shane. Now again, just like the match that happened according to the match order here, 4 matches prior, of no 3 matches prior, I thought honestly we were going to have a heel turn. Oh, not heel turn, but I thought honestly they were going to put Kevin and Sami over. And storytelling wise, I thought we were going to get a heel turn. And I'm thinking they wouldn't do this. They would not do this. Thankfully, they didn't do it. And Daniel, when he finally got in that ring, it's like time stood still. It's like nothing changed. Nothing changed at all. Time stood still. And it's like he had not missed a beat. This guy went from post to post with drop kicks, hit a missile drop kick, landed on his back, and it looked like, oh man, did he mess himself up? But no, he kips right up like nothing happened. He hits his yes kicks and everything. He hits the running knee on Sami at the end and locks him into the yes lock to get the win. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens remain fired from SmackDown, but I'm probably sure they're going to end up on Raw. Because according to what it says, they're fired from SmackDown, not Raw. But what the Alexa Man is suggesting is you'll see El Generico and Kevin Steen instead. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win. No heel turn by either one. I thought at least, Shane would turn. Even Bryan Alvarez thought that would happen, but it didn't. And the reason I don't think neither turned heel is because you had Shane's family at ringside. Why would you turn him heel if they're at ringside? And also it's Daniel's first match back, and you got the fans behind him. Why would you do that? So, yeah. Thankfully, they did not go that route. They did not go the route that I was afraid they were going to go down with either man, or I'm sure the fans were afraid they would go down with either man. So, thankfully, they didn't. All right, the next match, which a lot of people felt should have been a squash, and I'm going to be quite honest, it should have been too. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss. One thing I will say about Nia is at least she showed that she is. The one thing I will say about Nia, the way she was portrayed here, at least she shows she is smarter than Alexa thinks she is, or thinks she's not, because what happened is as soon as Nia got in there, she ran over Mickie James. She took out Mickie James, and she focused the first part, before the bell actually rang, she focused a lot of the pre-match attack on Mickie James, getting her out of the picture. And then when she got back in the ring, that's when the match started. And I will admit it should have ended about 5 minutes in, but it didn't. And again, I can understand there was storytelling here and everything. And it was another storytelling like match. It was like, could Nia beat Alexa? Could she, beat her and become Raw Women's Champion? Could she finally give someone like Alexa her comeuppance? And that was one thing I mentioned in my reactions. I said, Alexa loses here. This is going to be the night where both villainesses get the comeuppance for everything they've done. And that's exactly what happened in this match. But I will agree, it went a little too long than it should have. I will agree with that. I mean, there are some good moments here. Alexa hitting Twisted Bliss onto the outside onto Nia. Nia hitting a Super Samoan drop off the second rope onto Alexa. I mean, when you got sort of towards the end and Nia was basically brutalizing Alexa from collar to post at times, you knew pretty much Alexa was done. I mean, there was one moment she just knocked Alexa almost completely out, and she had to drag Alexa to the middle of the ring. Alexa's kind of dragging the ring apron with her. But yeah, Nia in the end, like I said, hits that Super Samoan drop from the second rope, wins the Women's Championship, and you just look at the look on the elation on Nia's face, like she is just proud of now she's the champion. And now we have a Raw Women's Champion that's not afraid to be who she is or what she is. And then you see the look on Alexa's face, and Alexa's got this disappointment, the sadness to her, like, well, I'm never going to see that championship ever again. That pretty much, like I said, she pretty much, the look on Alexa's face at the end when she saw Nia walking away with the championship, knowing she lost, the look on her face was like, yeah, she pretty much screwed up. It's like it worked two ways. She realized, one, she screwed up by manipulating the wrong person, and two, she realized from a storyline perspective, she's not going to get that championship back anytime soon, and pretty much her reign as a goddess is over. And she's no longer a goddess anymore. And there were some moments in here that I liked. Like, I think when Alexa tried to avoid Nia during the beginning portions of the match, she ends up slapping her, and Nia just does this, and Alexa's like, ah! And then later on in the match, she just, Alexa's trying to trash talk her, and Nia just grabs her like this and says, shut the hell up. Basically say what everybody wants to finally say, like, Alexa, shut your mouth. So yeah, good storytelling. I will admit it had decent storytelling here, but I will look. I'll say it this way: the reason it went as long as it did was because of the storytelling. But I do agree it should have gone shorter than 10 minutes 15 seconds, according to what I'm reading here. So, but yeah, Nia Jax is the Raw Women's Champion. Then we get to the first of our double main event. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. The first time they meet one-on-one in WWE for the WWE, and this is for the WWE Championship. This is Styles Nakamura 2, if you look at it that way, because the last time they met for a championship was for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship 2 years ago at Wrestle Kingdom. So, what can I say about this match? If you're an old school fan, if you're an old school fan, this pretty much was in your wheelhouse. This was something that you could actually get behind. It was good. The action was great. The high flying was only necessary, or the certain special moves and high flying moves were necessary when needed. It was good pacing. I know a lot of people didn't like it that way, but it was good pacing. I understand, Alexa, man, you felt that they should have been able to tear the house down. But it's like you said, what they did in New Japan, that's New Japan. This is WWE. Heck, I even suggested to anybody listening to my live stream that might have been at the Superdome to start a New Japan chant. That would have been something. Anyway, yeah, the match went back and forth. Again, there were counters from counters counter to counters between Nakamura and AJ. So really a decent match and a good, like I said, a good blending of old school, new school kind of style, high flying moves and special moves being brought out when necessary. In the end, though, AJ ends up retaining. How he retains is Shinsuke is going for the Kinshasa, and what happens is AJ is able to duck, roll. Is able to. I don't know how he did this, but Shinsuke is going for the Kinshasa, and AJ is able to duck and basically reverse it or turn it into a Styles Clash to win the match. And good match overall, good match. But then the ending came, and I'll say this. Obviously, somebody was taking notes from NXT TakeOver. Obviously, somebody had taken notes from NXT TakeOver the night before. Because at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, Nobody saw that Roderick Strong heel turn coming and him joining the Undisputed Era. They didn't see that coming. They knew about the storyline about it, going attached to it, and knew that Roderick would basically stand by his guns and be like, "Hey, I'm never going to join this group." What happened to take over New Orleans? That the shock happened. The shock of Roderick turning heel and joining them happened. So what happens here? Obviously, somebody's taking notes because just when it looks like you're getting something reminiscing and similar to Asuka and Charlotte's post-match embrace and respect, you kind of get that here, but not really, because Shinsuke asks the referee for the title. He kneels down before AJ, hands him the title, and as he hands AJ the title and AJ's taking it, boom! He hits him with a low blow. Yeah, Shinsuke ends up turning heel here, and he's just kicking away, stomping away at AJ. Everybody is in shock. You still have people that are cheering him. They're still in shock. He ends up stomping away at AJ, kicks him out of the ring, and as he's leaving, he turns around and hits a conchasta on AJ. Not where AJ is like laid up against the LED apron, no, but just close enough to where he just knocks him down. And you do get some boos and everything because nobody obviously saw this coming. I didn't see it coming. But yeah, Shinsuke is now a heel. According to what Alexa has said, this is what Shinsuke is good at because he was a heel in New Japan. In New Japan. Sorry, he was a heel in New Japan. And when he was the Intercontinental Champion, maybe even before that, as well as, and I kind of believe that because when Shinsuke was there, while AJ was part of Bullet Club, Shinsuke was part of Chaos, from what I understand. So this isn't too much of a far departure, I guess, from him. Well, it's not too much of a far departure for Shinsuke to be a part of. It's not what I'm trying to say is it's not too much of a departure for Shinsuke to go through with. It's not too much of a change because if he's done this before, then there's no doubt he can do it again. But I told Alexa this. I super chatted him this. I said, knowing WWE, this heel turn is not going to last long. It's not. Knowing this company, if they draft Shinsuke Nakamura over to Raw, he's going to go babyface again. That's what's going to happen. If he stays on SmackDown, I can see this heel turn going to at least Money in the Bank, maybe SummerSlam, and then that's it. Because you know why? What happened the last time a company turned a beloved superstar into a heel? What happened? It backfired on them. And that was WWE Stone Cold Steve Austin, 2001. That was WCW Goldberg, 2000. Need I go on? The point is, Shinsuke is still beloved by the fans, and I don't think Shinsuke is going to be a heel for much long. It's not going to be a heel for that long. I just feel that. I just feel WWE is not going to keep him a heel for much longer. I mean, yeah, he'll be a heel at least till SummerSlam, but then that's about it. Because I think the intention for this heel turn is to get that title on him. And that's about it. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. Then the next match is the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus against Braun Strowman and a partner of his choice. And who's his partner? A member of the WWE Universe. A fan. A 10-year-old boy named Nicholas. Yeah. Braun points to the crowd and said, it's you. And he walks around walks into the crowd, and he points to this one kid, say, "You, come with me." And this kid is chosen to be his partner. Now, I admit this is a good babyface move by WWE. Now, I admit this is a good move by WWE to truly put Braun over as a babyface, a monstrous babyface. But a lot of people were just crapping on this, still thinking, wait a minute, you put us through all this just so you can have Braun Strowman pick a child to be his partner? What? But yeah, Braun Strowman and Nicholas, in the end, become the Raw Tag Team Champions. And this is literally anybody that's trying to put down notes for the reviews. This is literally them. They're putting down the notes. They see this. This is literally them. As soon as Braun Strowman and this Nicholas kid become the champions. That's pretty much what it was with them. That's pretty much what it was. They're taking down the notes, and as soon as they see this happen, as soon as they see that happen, this is the reaction. That's it. It's like, I give up. But yeah, Braun Strowman and Nicholas end up winning the match, becoming the tag team champions. And everybody's wondering, who the heck is this kid? Why would a random kid get chosen? He isn't just any random kid. He's senior referee John Cone's son. Yeah, this Nicholas kid is Nicholas Cone, the senior referee's son. So, unless he shows back up tomorrow with the tag titles along with Braun, I think there's got to be some kind of ruling storyline-wise that Braun's got to find a legitimate partner and not just some fan. Or this is what I'm thinking, they play into what's been talked about on social media, finding out who this kid is and everything. They play that into the factor, and you maybe have the Bar threaten John Cone for what happened. That would make sense. But I've got a feeling that they're going to probably do that, or they'll probably have some kind of ruling to where Braun's got to have a legitimate partner, or he's got to forfeit the belts back to the Bar. Other storyline option is Braun could probably come out and say, hey, you told me I needed a partner, but you didn't say I needed a partner afterwards. So they could work with that too. And then finally, we get the Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. I saw most of this, but as you probably saw in my live reactions, I had to go help my mom take care of stuff. She had just come home. I had to help her out with a few things. But I did watch most of it. And yeah, the ending, I will say this. Roman did exactly what some fans feared he would. He kicked out of 5 F5s, but as soon as the 6 came around, that was it. And there was blood, unfortunately, to the dismay of people like the Lexman, who felt that Ciampa and Gargano should have, easy for me to say, Johnny Wrestling's match should have had a takeover. But yeah, the blood was just enough to fire Roman up, but not enough to really help him win, because as soon as he's getting ready to cheer for, as he's getting fired up, he's got the blood in front of his face. As soon as he's getting ready to go for another spear, Brock picks him up, hits him with a 6 F5, and retains the championship. And this was a shocker, because a lot of us thought Brock was done after this. We don't know what's going on. Did Brock renew his contract with the company? We don't know. We don't know what he did. We don't know if he renewed his contract, or what. We don't know that. We don't know if Brock renewed his contract. We don't know if this is going to play into a storyline where he's now going to leave the company and he's going to go to UFC with the championship. We don't know. There is something that I guess the Lexman feels is going to happen tomorrow. because reports are he's been seen in New Orleans, and that's Bobby Lashley. And I guess the Lex Man probably has heard some rumors that Lashley is going to show up tomorrow and beat Brock for the championship. I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to do there. But yeah, Roman not winning was a shock. But here's how I look at this. You know, the Lex Man basically said that WWE didn't have the guts to pull the trigger. And they obviously didn't. I will say this. Here's what I think. Here's what I think. If Daniel Bryan hadn't been cleared to compete, and they would have gone another direction with the Shane Daniel, Kevin, Sami thing, then I think Roman would have won. I know that's a weird thing to say, weird thing to say, but I think if they wouldn't have put Daniel back in, allowed Daniel back in action, they probably would have pulled the trigger. They probably would have on a Roman Reigns Universal title win, because you wouldn't have had anybody else to kind of usurp him or overshadow him. But that didn't happen. Now, again, I don't know if Brock renewed his contract. I don't know if it's a day-by-day basis. We don't know what's going on. According to what the Lex Man feels is going to happen, is Bobby Lashley is going to return to WWE tomorrow, and he's going to end up beating Brock for the championship. I don't know how they'll do that. Will they have Brock call out somebody? Will they? Here's what I think. They're going to have Paul Heyman come out along with Brock and say the Conqueror has conquered everybody that's put in front of him. There's nobody else to conquer. He's going to lay the belt. He's going to vacate the title because now it's not worth his time anymore, and he's going to go and do some real fighting. If they do that, great. You get a Universal title. We can have a Universal Championship tournament. Perfect. In my opinion, if they did that. But if they do what the Lex Man's thinking they will, that'd be a shock too. But we'll have to wait and see. Because the one thing about Raw, the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, is expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. So we'll just have to wait and see what they do. If Lashley or somebody does debut or return and beats Brock for that championship tomorrow, great. If they have Brock vacate the championship and say he has conquered everybody and conquered all WWE, now he's going to go back to UFC and conquer that, hey, great. We can use a Universal title tournament out of it. You know, if the storyline plays up that he's going to take the Universal Championship to him to UFC and we'll never see it again, that works too. We'll have to wait and see what they do. We'll have to really wait and see what they do here. So I think honestly, if you were to bring somebody in to challenge Brock and beat him for that championship, I'll give you three options. Lashley's one of them. Yeah, he's one of them. The other option, thinking about it. Except one option is him. It's Lashley. The other option, just had in the tip of my tongue. Drew McIntyre. I know that sounds weird, but he would be a good choice, especially if he's scheduled to return. What a way to help him return, especially to the main roster. Third, Daniel Bryan. Think about that. Think about those three names I just mentioned. Three worthy names to dethrone Brock and become champion. Just saying. Just saying, folks. It could work. It could work. It really could. And you know what? I'll throw a wild card out there. Have John Cena challenge him and beat him. Have John Cena challenge and beat him. I know people don't want to hear that, but would you rather have... Who would you rather have as a champion? Cena or Lesnar? Ask yourself that. Heck, I'll even do one better. He just whooped John Cena last night at WrestleMania. Undertaker. How about that? Oh, you know what? Bring him back as a babyface. Or a tweener. Samoa Joe. There. I just gave you, what was it? 4 names. Actually, 6 names. Lashley, McIntyre, Bryan, Cena, Taker, Samoa Joe. 6 names that could come back and do exactly what the Alexa Man feels they need to do tomorrow night on Raw. Beat Brock Lesnar for the championship and what could be Brock Lesnar's last match. Make that happen. Choose one of those 6 to do it. I know there's 2 that people probably won't like because they're part-time anyway. But you know what? Again, who would you rather have? Taker as champion? Cena as champion? Taker as champion or Lesnar as champion? Or do you want Cena as champion or Lesnar as champion? Just saying. Just saying. So, to me, those would be the best options. But yeah, in the end, Brock won, which was a surprise. But I can understand why, in my opinion, why they did it. You know, they don't want to have a riot on their hands. I mean, Roman was already getting booed out of the building as soon as the moment he arrived. As soon as the moment his music hit and he arrived on the scene, he was getting booed. He was getting booed by the crowd. There's no other way to describe it. So, overall, decent WrestleMania. If I was to give it a grade, I'd say it was an A minus. I know it's a little high in the eyes of some. I know OTR Essential will have something different to say about that. The Alexa Man gave it, but I am in the majority here that it was passable. And like I said at the beginning, this is the right step. I feel this was the right step necessary, a step in the right direction for WWE when it comes to the pay-per-views, especially the big 4s and mostly WrestleMania. This was a step in the right direction, and they need to continue this. They need to continue this going forward. So to me, this was a step in the right direction, and hopefully they continue this momentum into Backlash and moving forward. And perhaps maybe they'll get somebody from NXT, like I told the Lex Man in a super chat. I asked him, do you think someone from NXT creative helped book this? And he said maybe. Look at how things were structured and booked the way they were. You could definitely tell someone from NXT was helping out. So yeah, that's all I can really say on it. Passable, A- WrestleMania. Can't wait to hear what OTR Essential has to say about it. Can't wait to hear what Wrestling with Regret has to say about it, because they were there live in person. So we'll just have to wait and see what the reactions will be, what their thoughts are. But those are my overall thoughts here in my review for WrestleMania 34. Let me thank you all for tuning in live. In fact, let me check the live chat if I can get to it. And already I got 314 views on my live reactions video. I had like 190 after the whole initial live stream was done, which is impressive. Yeah, I guess there's one person here. Challenge that 15. That was happy Charlotte beat Asuka. But overall, those are just my thoughts, like I said, on WrestleMania 34 this year. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you all for tuning in live, watching me live and supporting. And thank you all for watching post live after it's been uploaded already onto YouTube. And I will talk to y'all later. And by the way, in case you guys want to know, I am also on twitch.tv at bwroses98. Check that out as well. You might see this reaction up there soon, and later on today or this week. Oh, this review, I should say, later on this week, today or this week. So, yeah, I am on twitch.tv at bwroses98. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching Post Live. I've just been uploaded, and I am out.